How about I read you a story, just like I used to before you got a mustache and became so frightening? Here we go, the greatest fairy tale ever told. It's got everything. The Prince of Camelot, rubies, and magic bullets. Report of the President's Commission on the Assassination of President Kennedy. United States Government Printing Office, Washington, D.C. U.S. Government Printing Office, Washington, 1964. 20402. Commission members, President's Commission on the Assassination of President Kennedy, Chief Justice Earl Warren, Chairman, Senator Richard B. Russell, Senator John Sherman Cooper, Representative Hale Boggs, Representative Gerald R. Ford, Mr. Alan W. Dulles, Mr. John J. McCloy, J. Lee Rankin, General Counsel, Assistant Counsel, Francis W. H. Adams, Joseph Abal, David W. Bellin, William T. Coleman, Jr., Melvin Aaron Eisenberg, Bert W. Griffin, Leon D. Hubert, Jr., Albert E. Jenner, Jr., Wesley J. Liebler, Norman Redlick, W. David Slauson, Arlen Specter, Samuel Stern, Howard P. Willens. No, Mr. Willens also acted as liaison between the Commission and the Department of Justice. Transmittal letter. President's Commission on the Assassination of President Kennedy, 200 Maryland Avenue, New England, Washington, D.C., 20002. Telephone 5 for 3, 1 for 00. J. Lee Rankin, General Counsel, Earl Warren, Chairman, Richard B. Russell, John Sherman Cooper, Hale Boggs, Gerald R. Ford, John J. McCloy, Alan W. Dulles. September 24, 1964. The President, the White House, Washington, D.C. Dear Mr. President, you're commissioned to investigate the assassination of President Kennedy on November 22, 1963, having completed its assignment in accordance with Executive Order Number 11130 of November 29, 1963, herewith submits its final report. Respectfully, signed, Earl Warren, Chairman, Richard B. Russell, John Sherman Cooper, Hale Boggs, Gerald R. Ford, Alan W. Dulles, John J. McCloy. Foreword. Introduction. President Lyndon B. Johnson, by Executive Order Number 11130, dated November 29, 1963, created this commission to investigate the assassination on November 22, 1963, of John Fitzgerald Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States. The President directed the Commission to evaluate all the facts and circumstances surrounding the assassination and the subsequent killing of the alleged assassin, and to report its findings and conclusions to him. The subject of the Commission's inquiry was a chain of events which saddened and shocked the people of the United States and of the world. The assassination of President Kennedy and the simultaneous wounding of John B. Connally, Jr., Governor of Texas, had been followed within an hour by the slaying of Patrolman J.D. Tippit of the Dallas Police Department. In the United States and abroad, these events evoked universal demands for an explanation. Immediately after the assassination, state and local officials in Dallas devoted their resources to the apprehension of the assassin. The U.S. Secret Service, which is responsible for the protection of the President, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation began an investigation at the direction of President Johnson. Within 35 minutes of the killing of Patrolman Tippit, Lee Harvey Oswald was arrested by the Dallas police as a suspect in that crime. Based on evidence provided by federal, state, and local agencies, the state of Texas arraigned Oswald within 12 hours of his arrest, charging him with the assassination of President Kennedy and the murder of Patrolman Tippit. On November 24, 1963, less than 18 hours after his arrest, Oswald was fatally shot in the basement of the Dallas Police Department by Jack Ruby, a Dallas nightclub owner. The shooting took place in full view of a national television audience. The events of these days were witnessed with shock and disbelief by a nation grieving the loss of its leader. Throughout the world, reports on these events were disseminated in massive detail. Theories and speculations mounted regarding the assassination. In many instances, the intense public demand for facts was met by partial and frequently conflicting reports from Dallas and elsewhere. After Oswald's arrest and his denial of all guilt, public attention focused both on the extent of the evidence against him and the possibility of a conspiracy, domestic or foreign. His subsequent death heightened public interest and stimulated additional suspicions and rumors. The Commission and its powers. After Lee Harvey Oswald was shot by Jack Ruby, it was no longer possible to arrive at the complete story of the assassination through normal judicial procedures during a trial of the alleged assassin. Alternative means for instituting a complete investigation were widely discussed. Federal and state officials conferred on the possibility of initiating a court of inquiry before a state magistrate in Texas. An investigation by the grand jury of Dallas County also was considered. As speculation about the existence of a foreign or domestic conspiracy became widespread, committees in both houses of Congress weighed the desirability of congressional hearings to discover all the facts relating to the assassination. By his order of November 29th establishing the commission, President Johnson sought to avoid parallel investigations and to concentrate fact-finding in a body having the broadest national mandate. As chairman of the commission, President Johnson selected Earl Warren, Chief Justice of the United States, former governor and attorney general of the state of California. From the U.S. Senate, he chose Richard B. Russell, Democratic senator from Georgia and chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, former governor of and county attorney in the state of Georgia, and John Sherman Cooper, Republican senator from Kentucky, former county and circuit judge, state of Kentucky, and U.S. ambassador to India. 2 members of the commission were drawn from the U.S. House of Representatives. Hale Boggs, Democratic U.S. representative from Louisiana and majority whip, and Gerald R. Ford, Republican U.S. representative from Michigan and chairman of the House Republican Conference. From private life, President Johnson selected 2 lawyers by profession, both of whom have served in the administrations of Democratic and Republican presidents. Allen W. Dulles, former director of Central Intelligence, and John J. McCloy, former president of the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, former U.S. High Commissioner for Germany, and during World War II, the Assistant Secretary of War. From its first meeting on December 5, 1963, the Commission viewed the executive order as an unequivocal presidential mandate to conduct a thorough and independent investigation. Because of the numerous rumors and theories, the Commission concluded that the public interest in ensuring that the truth was ascertained could not be met by merely accepting the reports or the analyses of federal or state agencies. Not only were the premises and conclusions of those reports critically reassessed, but all assertions or rumors relating to a possible conspiracy or the complicity of others than Oswald, which have come to the attention of the Commission, were investigated. On December 13, 1963, Congress enacted Senate Joint Resolution 137, Public Law 88-02, empowering the Commission to issue subpoenas requiring the testimony of witnesses and the production of evidence relating to any matter under its investigation. In addition, the resolution authorized the Commission to compel testimony from witnesses claiming the privilege against self-incrimination under the Fifth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, by providing for the grant of immunity to persons testifying under such compulsion. Immunity under these provisions was not granted to any witness during the Commission's investigation. The Commission took steps immediately to obtain the necessary staff to fulfill its assignment. J. Lee Rankin, former Solicitor General of the United States, was sworn in as General Counsel for the Commission on December 16, 1963. Additional members of the legal staff were selected during the next few weeks. The Commission has been aided by 14 assistant counsel with high professional qualifications selected by it from widely separated parts of the United States. The staff undertook the work of the Commission with a wealth of legal and investigative experience and a total dedication to the determination of the truth. The Commission has been assisted also by highly qualified personnel from several federal agencies assigned to the Commission at its request. This group included lawyers from the Department of Justice, agents of the Internal Revenue Service, a senior historian from the Department of Defense, an editor from the Department of State, and secretarial and administrative staff supplied by the General Services Administration and other agencies. In addition to the assistance afforded by federal agencies, the Commission throughout its inquiry had the cooperation of representatives of the city of Dallas and the state of Texas. The Attorney General of Texas, Wagner Carr, aided by the distinguished lawyers of that state, Robert G. Story of Dallas, retired Dean of the Southern Methodist University Law School, and former President of the American Bar Association, and Leon Jaworski of Houston, former President of the Texas State Bar Association, has been fully informed at all times as to the progress of the investigation and has advanced such suggestions as he and his special assistants considered helpful to the accomplishment of the Commission's assignment. Attorney General Carr has promptly supplied the Commission with pertinent information possessed by Texas officials. Dallas officials, particularly those from the police department, have fully complied with all requests made by the Commission. The investigation,